ANZAC, Dutch, and French turn 1. The Aussies are the only power of those three that can actually buy anything. Remember, the Dutch and the French lost their capital last turn. So they're going to spend their 10 IPCs on a fighter. There is no combat this round, so it's just non-combat. The Aussies are going to take a very, very defensive posture to start the game. They will consolidate all of their naval forces in Sea Zone 62. So that's a cruiser and a transport from Sea Zone 63. The transport will load up the infantry and the mechanized infantry from New Zealand and bring them to New South Wales. All of the forces from Queensland will move south into New South Wales as well, and the submarine from 54 will join the rest of the Navy in 62. The Dutch will be moving around their naval forces a little bit. They're going to load up the infantry and the Celebes onto this transport, and they're going to transport it 1-2 to Sea Zone 41 and offload in Sumatra. The transport and the destroyer in Sea Zone 42. The transport will pick up an infantry and an artillery in Sea Zone 42 from Java, and then move from Sea Zone 42 into Sea Zone 39 and offload into India. The French destroyer in Sea Zone 36 will move to Sea Zone 41 to back up the Dutch transport there. Other movement. Oh, I didn't mark it, but this infantry from Malaya, this ANZAC infantry from Malaya is going to go north into Shan State. Oh, and I didn't mark this one either, but this destroyer from Sea Zone 72 is going to move into Sea Zone 81 and join the South African destroyer. Okay, the infantry from Syria is going to move to Transjordan. The infantry from French Equatorial Africa is going to move to Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. The infantry and the anti-aircraft from Algeria are going to move to Morocco. And the mechanized infantry from French West Africa is going to get onto the transport ship, and the transport and the cruiser are going to make their way to Sea Zone 91, and the mech will offload in Morocco. The two French boats in Sea Zone 93, the cruiser and the destroyer, will link up with the British Navy in Sea Zone 98 for some additional defense there. I think that's all the moves. So I'll tidy up the board and we'll come back in a sec. Placement of new units. The Aussies are just going to put their new fighter plane in New South Wales with the other one, so there's two fighter planes there. Their income has not changed, so they will once again collect 10 IPCs to put in the bank for next turn. The Dutch and the French don't collect anything, so let's just do the disposition of forces. Aussies are pretty easy. Most of their forces are concentrated here. In Sea Zone 62, 2 transports, 1 sub, 1 cruiser, 1 destroyer. New South Wales, 5 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, 1 artillery, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, 2 fighters. Shan State, 2 infantry for the Aussies. In terms of French in this area, French Indochina has 2 infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery. And there's also a French destroyer in Sea Zone 41. The Dutch have an infantry on Java, 2 infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery in Sumatra, and a transport in Sea Zone 41. In Sea Zone 39, there is a transport and a destroyer. And in India, there's an infantry and an artillery for the Dutch. Moving over, the Aussies in Egypt have an infantry and a mechanized infantry. The French in the area, there's an infantry in Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, an infantry in Transjordan, and a destroyer in Sea Zone 81 with the South African Navy. There's a French infantry in Tunisia. There are 2 French infantry, a French mechanized infantry, and an anti-aircraft gun in Morocco. In C-Zone 91, there is a cruiser and a transport. Oh, I forgot to mention, in C-Zone 98, there is a cruiser and a destroyer along with that British fleet there. These guys won't last long, but in southern France, there's an infantry and an artillery. In Normandy, Bordeaux, there's an infantry and an artillery. And way, way, way up in the UK, there is a French infantry and a French fighter. So I think that is all the French, Dutch, and Australian and New Zealand forces on the board. So that's the end of turn 1. So Germany, the Minor Axis, and the Finns are going to go next for turn 2. Okay, because it's the end of the turn, and Germany has not yet used its spy ability, it's going to try and take a research and development from the Italians. It's going to try and take propaganda. Now, the way that this works is it gets to roll 2 die. If one of them is a 6, then they get propaganda as one of their technologies. If it's double 6s, then Italy loses propaganda. So there is a danger here. Here we go. 5 and a 2. So nothing happened with the spy this round. We're going to need to re-roll for the spy at the beginning of turn 2.